Hey everybody, ArtzyDude here. Welcome to the ArtzyDude channel once again. And the studio, the Creative Art Studio, somewhere here in this great United States of America, it's the place where creativity is more important than knowledge, but the acquisition of great knowledge, it's an art form, and the two of them go hand in hand. Thanks for joining me. Listen, I'm going to jump on over to the art table here. I've got something I want to try out on this video. I was doodling some ideas, noodling some ideas, and I want to share them with you. So hang on tight, and we'll go over to the art table, okay? Trying something new here. Hold on.
Hey, how are you today? Okay, so like I've already done the intro here, and I'm gonna try something different, like working in the studio here today. I'm thinking about different types of flying saucers and different shapes and things like that, you know. So we see these these different shapes, right? Tic Tac. I mean, the Tic Tacs are always interesting, right? They're just kind of a Tic Tac. I call them a RIP, a reconnaissance and information pod. RIP. That's what I like to call them. A RIP. And if you, or our governments, keep trying to shoot them down, that's what's going to appear on their gravestone. RIP. Yeah, so that's the RIP, you know. It's just a, I guess, Tic Tac looking thing. In some cases, it changes shape. It moves forward very fast, pushing the air out in front of it if it's moving that way. I'm not sure how this video is going to work, so I hope you're not seasick. I'm trying to figure out a way to draw some of these things on camera without moving the camera too much, but it looks like it's moving. So I'll just do a test on this. If I post it, then you're watching it. If not, then the world will never know. But anyway, so we've seen these kind. You know, we've seen the kind that have the sort of almost 1950s look, right? Got little things on them like that. Lights around them. Doesn't that look like something from the 1950s? You know, there's some speculation about how we see these near future technologies. That's what I keep hearing. That back in the day we would see lighter than air blimps, and we'd see, you know, things like that at the time in the 1800s, say. It was before we invented blimps and things like that. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe there's some merit to it. Probably is if people are talking about it, right? I mean, why wouldn't there be, right? But we've seen these kind with portals, we've seen them with lights, you know. So that's another kind that we've seen, you know. And, you know, I've never done this before on camera, so bear with me here. I don't know if what I'm trying to pull off here is going to work. If it's going to be too, you know, maybe I need to break down and buy one of those stabilizing things, you know. This is a sort of handmade deal, holding the camera right now. There was another type of craft, if I recall, and it was, again, kind of had that thing like this, right? Just like the one I just drew, except that it had 3 bulbs down here, or something to that effect. Which I often wondered about that too. Like, was that, it looks like a giant street lamp or a giant highway light. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what that always struck me as. You know? Had these giant bulbs that lit up down here. And I don't know if that's indicative of a power source or if it was, you know, something to do with lighting. What did that mean? I remember when I was a kid, you know, and again, these had lights on them too, I think, that went around, all the way around the ship. And people would report these different types of craft. And I'm kind of like going over these with a thicker marker here, just part of one of the techniques I use in illustrating. And then in another reason, because I'm on camera here and I don't know how it's going to work. So I apologize if the camera's shaking. I'm just trying to do my best here. But anyways, so there's another kind of craft. You know, then we see the TR3Bs, I guess they call them. You know, and these craft are almost like a wedge of cheese, you know, and they had all kinds of lights and things going on them. The TR3Bs. Now those have been all kinds of reportings on these type of craft. These are supposedly the government version of our reverse engineered technology, you know, and you know, who knows if that's what they really are. I mean, that's, you know, and are they more delta shaped in the sense that do they go out more in a delta shape as opposed to a pizza pie slice? We shall never know. But they do float, you know. They've been seen floating above the ground. You know, floating above the air. Who knows? As a kid, as I said, I used to sit and draw these different things and, you know, just kind of come up with ideas on what these craft look like and what's the possibilities. And of course, Gene Roddenberry, you know, he always, I'm going to move you over there, buddy. Gene Roddenberry, remember he had the, I mean, there's so many different types of craft that could very well be, you know. I kind of remember the craft. Forgive me if I don't have it exactly correct, but I think it was something like this. And this came down here like that, and then we had something like that. And of course, the other pod, the other engine compartment was over there, and this was like the Enterprise, of course, right? Just a quick sketch of the Enterprise. And if you remember right, there was all these windows along here, different floors. This was back in here is where they had the pod bay, where their little miniature craft would come out of. Shuttlecraft. Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Come in. Remember that. But yeah. And then they had all kinds of, you know, windows along here. But think about that. I mean, what would be the natural shape of a ship in space? I mean, it can be any shape, I guess, right? I mean, there's no friction out there. I mean, that I'm aware of. I mean, because it's a vacuum, so there's no friction. So a craft could be any shape it wanted to be, I guess. You know. Could be any shape it wanted to be. It could be designed in any shape. I mean, obviously, all the planets and stars and everything are in a circle, in a excuse me, a sphere shape. So there must be some dynamic. I guess it's like dropping oil and water. You know, you have a perfect bubble, or if you see like on the space shuttle, you know, somebody spill some water or something like that, and it's perfect. You know what I mean? It's like this perfect sphere. So maybe a sphere shape is the perfect shape for space, for the vacuum of space. I don't know. But, you know, Gene Roddenberry's ship was something, you know, something to that effect. Obviously, the Enterprise. Weird shape when you consider some of these other ones that we see, whether man-made or if they are alien concoctions. But all kinds of shapes out there, you know. Predominantly, I think the ones that we see are sphere. You know what I mean? They're a sphere. This would be a tic-tac, and of course, looking on that from end to end, it would just appear like that if you were looking at it from end to end, going through it, you know. This particular one, the end-to-end look would probably be just like that, you know. It would probably be, you know, just like that. That being the nose part of it right up here, this part here being right here, this being looking at it straight on from the front, the tic-tac, you know. This particular one, the sphere that we see, or the elliptical saucer type craft, you know, if you looked at it from the front view straight on, it might appear like this, you know, something like that, just looking straight on its edge. Who knows? I used to, like I said, have fun playing with all of these different shapes and drawing these things and trying to figure out what a spacecraft might look like out there in space. I mean, it could be anything. And as some have speculated, that this tic-tac could be just a smaller version of a larger version of a larger version. And they fractally break down to a smaller version of themselves. And if you think about that, I mean, that is a great way to disguise yourself. If there's something like this, you know, literally the size of a tic-tac, this big, flying around, gathering data, we'd never see it. And if you did, you'd think it was an insect or something that flew by real quickly, right? I mean, you wouldn't think twice about it, you know. So, anyways, I figured I'd try to do this thing today and just do a little bit of drawing. And if the video works, maybe I'll do some more and elaborate on some different things. Maybe suggestions will come in about, you know, what to sketch or something like that. I like the concept of coming up with these ideas on what craft could look like. It's interesting too, you know, I'm seeing I've been watching a lot of shows from C.W. Chanter to, you know, Alien Protocols to the Doc and Buddy show with, you know, Doc Simeon Hine and Alien Protocols together. And, you know, everybody seems to be rehashing a lot of the same old stuff. I mean, it's almost as if they just feel like they've got to produce a video just to get it out there, because now they've got all these followers, and I don't know. I just don't see a lot of new stuff coming out. People are interviewing the same old thing, you know, like, for instance, Richard Dolan's interviewing Jeremy Corbell recently, and they're talking about Bob Lazar. And, you know, Bob Lazar's been around 30 years, and I think Jeremy's got a great new video out, and I think he's going to shed some light on that. But again, it's new in a sense, but it's the same characters, you know what I mean? We're all going after the same stuff, and we're talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And I wonder sometimes if when the new data is going to come out. When is that going to come out? You know? So we're not always all doing the same thing over and over again. So as a kid, like I said, I used to think about all of these different things with aliens. Like, if they came to your house, or in my case, I've invited them to the studio here. If they want to ever come, it's a safe place. And trying to remember what a grape leaf looks like. Something like that anyways. I know that it's angular. But I've invited them all to the studio here, that this is a safe place. I think that, we could start a good friendship, the start of a trusting friendship and relationship, and it could start to happen on a grassroots level, for sure, Well, what would you feed them if they came to your house? What could they digest? What would they eat? Do they eat anything? I mean, what do they eat? Think about that. Would you give them grapes? I don't know. Would you? Would grapes be worth something that they would eat? Would you offer them grapes? Would you offer them pizza? Isn't that funny? We're drawing all these cylindrical shapes, and pizza is just like a UFO, Same shape. Pepperoni. Pieces of mushroom on there. There's all kinds of other little things that are given, on there. There's the pepperoni. I wonder if they would eat pizza. Or would that be too fattening for them? You know what I mean? Would that be too much garbage? Somebody said to me once that they thought, or that aliens thought we're barbaric because we eat meat, We eat meat from animals, and we drink the milk from animals. And I often wondered about that. Like, is that true? Do they see us that way? Do they see us as barbaric because, because we eat animal foods and animal fats and stuff? I'm drawing them. This is supposed to be a pizza. I don't know if it looks like a pizza. Anyways, it's supposed to be a pizza. Yeah, there you go. So would they eat pizza? Would they eat a pizza? Huh? Would they eat a za? I don't know. Would they drink wine? Would they have a toast with us? Would they do that? I don't know either. Drink some wine with us, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. A little bit of bubbly. What if it was champagne? Would they drink some bubbly with us? I don't know. Things to think about. Anyways, just some ideas, goofing around here in the studio. And I hope that this video works. We'll see. It's looking like it might be a little shaky, and I apologize. I'm not quite sure, without buying all this expensive equipment, how to get this to work. So this is ArtzyDude in the art studio. Remember to love your animals. We got a new animal over the Thanksgiving holiday, a new boxer named Bella, and we're blessed with that animal. It's our second boxer, and I just want to say, love on your animals out there. Take care of your animals. Be kind to them. Be kind to all creatures on this earth. If you don't have poisonous spiders in your house that you have to kill, then don't kill them. Let them live. They'll eat the little creatures in your house. Maybe they're smarter than we are. But anyways,
I'm rambling again. Let me know if this is a cool video or if this is kind of boring or if it works, and maybe we can do more of them. I like working in the studio and contemplating things and sketching and doing things like that. So anyways, let me know. Again, hug your mom and dad. You know, give them a hug today. Tell them you love them. Hug your children, your animals, like I said. Be kind to one another in social media. We've got to change the paradigm if we're going to make a change in this world. All right, well listen, ArtzyDude out for now. We'll talk soon, and it's been good. See ya. Bye-bye.